Namaste. Welcome to your yoga practice, your sadhana, your spiritual journey. Today we're going to be working the back line of the body. And if you'd like, you can actually grab a tennis ball, or here I have a lacrosse ball. And as I do my introduction, you can just roll your foot on the ball, on the lacrosse ball or the tennis ball, or you can stand up or just do this, like roll your foot on the ball, and that will start to help wake up the tissues of the back line. The back line of the body, the tissues of the back line go from the sole of the foot up through the back of the leg, the thigh, the sacrum in the back of the pelvis, and all the way up over the back of the head and attached to the forehead, top of the eyes. So every time we do forward bends, we're stretching that, and every time we do back bends, we're contracting the muscles along that line. So today we're going to be focusing on that. Now, one of the things that I had mentioned in the frontline class was that the frontline is indicative or symbolic of the individual self, the self that we put out into the world. And although it's great to be able to find our unique and authentic expression of who we are, it's also important to remember the other side, the side that supports us. And here, this is the back of the body, which is symbolic of the universal self, or the side of ourselves that supports us. Just like the back line supports in holding us upright, it gives babies the capacity to lift up, for the first time, and then eventually stand up on their own as that line develops and the body becomes more erect, right? More upright. So the universal self gives us that capacity to express ourselves as individuals. It is that which supports us and yet is kind of invisible. And just like the back of the body often goes unnoticed. When we look in the mirror, we are usually looking at the front. We rarely look at the back of the body unless we're looking at our butts to see how big our butt is. So today we're going to be going into the back line with this awareness that we're kind of going into the more esoteric side of ourselves. The space that I like to think of it as, I actually asked myself this question the other night of, who am I when all the roles that I play dissolve? Who am I when my thoughts dissolve? Who am I when my sensations dissolve or the emotions dissolve? Who am I when there's no chaos happening in my life? Or when there's no excitement happening, that duality of feeling or sensation or emotion. So who are we when what we know to be ourselves, our personality, when that dissolves? And, on one side we can say, oh, we're dead, right? Like, who are we if we're not being ourselves or we're not experiencing life? And at the same time, there is an essence that is unchanging within us. While our experiences and even maybe our personalities and the way we feel from one moment to the next changes, there's a part of us that is unchanging, that kind of lies in the backdrop of our awareness. And the yoga practice reminds us that it's not only important to experience life and through the uniqueness of our individuality and the uniqueness of the way we'll experience our life, but it's also important to remember the essence that supports and that lies behind all of our experiences, that in a way fuels, right? It fuels our experiences because it's from that space that our experiences and who we are emerges. Just like it's from the ocean that the wave of life, that the experience of the wave, right, that the wave manifests. It's from that ocean. So when there's no waves, the ocean still remains. That's kind of a classical example. So here, investigating our own ocean, experimenting or investigating the awareness, or we can say the pulsation that lies behind all of our experiences. The space of nothingness, the space of void, or simply the space that we then fill with our life. Take a comfortable seat and close your eyes. Bring the palms of your hands together in front of your heart. And as you lengthen your spine, feel how the front of the body opens, but that the front of the body opens because the spine lengthened. Because we had that lift, that support from the back muscles. Soften the heart. Even feel as you exhale how the organs, the internal organs, draw towards the back of the body. There's a saying that when we exhale our breath, the world ceases to exist. And when we inhale the breath, the world becomes. So as we inhale the breath, feel the liveliness of the body. As you exhale the breath, feel how the body retreats towards the back, retreats back into that universal space. And even at the end of the exhalation, notice the moment of pause, where the lungs are empty. The mind, for a fraction of the second, stops. And our whole being is in a kind of suspension, almost like a floating. We're in our own potential. And then we inhale again, and life continues. It's like the play of life continues. Become curious about that pause at the end of the exhalation, where the fullness of the potential, the full pulsation of life, the full vibrancy of life can be observed in that pause at the end of the exhalation. And let's open the practice with 3 sounds of Om. Inhale your breath. Release your hands and open your eyes. Come onto all fours. Lengthen the sides of your body from the sacrum. So move the sacrum back, reach your tailbone back, reach the sides of your hips back. And countering that, lengthen the sides of the body up, forward. And as you exhale, soften the full surface of your back. Soften the lower back and the upper back between the shoulder blades. Feel how the shoulder blades slide towards one another in the spine. Don't collapse, don't empty out the body of its life, of its liveliness, but go to the end of the exhalation and see just how much you can soften the back without feeling like you're completely collapsing. And then start to sway the ribs from right to left so that the same shoulder and the same hip come closer together and the spine forms a C shape. As if the spine was a hammock or a chain and it's swinging from one side to another, all the while keeping the surface of the back nice and soft. Feel the stability in the pelvis as it holds the base of that, or one end of that chain. I sometimes think of like skipping rope, you know, the action of the rope just swaying underneath our feet. And then come back to center and lie down on your stomach. Bring the legs together, bring your hands beside the lower ribs in preparation for baby cobra. Lengthen the tailbone towards the heels and press the toenails down. Inhale, stretch the sides of your body forward and up, lifting the chest, but keeping the belly on the floor. So if you lift your hands, you should be okay. Keep the length of your spine, and especially here, the length of your neck. When we lift the chin, we tend to block off the neck. And when we block off the neck, we actually block off some of the reception in the spine. So the spine is going to be very much controlled by what we do in the neck. So lengthen the back of the neck, soften your eyes and your forehead. And then come back down. Now lifting one leg at a time. Inhale, lift your chest and your head, lift your right leg. Feel the connection of the back line on that right side, all the way up into the length of the back of your neck. Exhale, come down. Inhale, left leg, rising up. Exhale, back down. Right leg, inhale. Also lifting the chest, don't forget. Exhale. Keep the back of the neck long as if you're lifting the back of the neck towards the ceiling. Exhale, back down. One more. Inhale, right side. Exhale, back down. Inhale, left side. Let's stay here. Exhale up here. Stay here because we stayed a little longer on the first time on that right side. Lengthen out as you lift. Again, notice for me, I have I want to lift my chin up, but don't press the chin to your chest, just keep the neck long, the back of the neck long, the shoulder blades moving away from the neck, and then come back down. Press onto all fours. Good. And then walking your hands forward, press back into child's pose and stretch. Feel the stretch of that line from the sacrum, so the triangular bone on the back of the pelvis, all the way through the back of the neck, the upper back, and then come up onto your knees. Take your blanket and you're going to roll your blanket and place your feet on the blanket, but with your heels on the floor, the heels on the floor. Take your feet as wide as you need, and some of you might need blocks underneath your hands or a chair underneath your hands, so take what you need. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body, feet parallel, and exhale to fold. So if you were rolling your feet on the ball at the beginning, then here you'll probably start to feel a little bit more opening in the back of the legs. Again, the back line goes from the soles of the feet, it connects into the soles of the feet, up into the back, into your calves, into your hamstrings, all the way through the sitting bones. So it attaches to the sitting bones. And then the upper part of that goes from the sacrum all the way through the back muscles. So if you touch your back, find your spine, and on the side of your spine, you'll feel like these two columns, these two like long columns of muscles, right? So that's part of the back line. And it goes all the way through the back of your neck. And if you bring your chin to your chest, you can feel the back stretching. And then just soften your neck so you're not straining. Inhale and come up. And then step off of the blanket and fold. And just feel the contrast. Bring your blocks to the side, your blanket to the side, and step your left leg back, knee to the ground, and bring your hands to the inside. Inhale, lift the front of the body. And then exhale, bend your front knee, sit from the back of your pelvis. So think of your sacrum softening forward. And bring your elbows, your hands forward, bend your elbows, or bring them all the way down to the ground. You can also put blocks or books underneath your elbows. And return to the breath here as you lunge. Keep engaging the legs in towards the center. Soften the inner groins back so that you're moving into a deeper awareness of the back body. Keeping the inner thighs back, wrap your right buttock underneath and feel the pulsation of the back of the body. The back of the legs, especially on that front leg. In the sacrum. And the back of your upper body. Soften the heart, and then bring your hands to the floor. Step forward and change sides. Right leg back, knee to the ground. Keep your left foot where it is. Bring your left hand in. Inhale. Shift your hips a little bit back. Tone the muscles of your legs. So move your inner thighs back. Bring an awareness into the back of the body so that even the thighs, the organs are moving into the back. And then from the invitation of the sacrum, soften into the front leg. So you let the sacrum, and it's not the knee that's pulling you forward, it's the sacrum that is getting heavier. It's just settling. Walk your hands forward, bend your elbows, bring your elbows to the floor or towards the floor. You can also stay more in like a push-up position. Keep the tone of your legs, keep the inner thighs, inner groins softening in towards the back of the body, as if the inner groins were turning towards the sacrum. And soften the skin on the sacrum, on the back of your pelvis, as you breathe. Notice that pause at the end of the exhalation. It might be very short. Don't hold your breath. And allow that pause at the end of the exhalation to bring you into a deeper awareness of the pulsation of your breath and the pulsation of life that supports who you are. Bring your hands to the floor. Inhale, lift your back foot forward and fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, stretch all the way up. Exhale, reach your arms out and away from you. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Soften the heart inwards. Take a wide stance, feet parallel, hands to hips, and turn your toes to the right. Align heel to arch, right heel with back arch. Make sure your back foot is parallel to the outside of your mat, the short edge of your mat. Inhale, open your arms. Exhale, bend your right knee over the front of your ankle. Keep engaging and toning the legs in. Interlace your fingers behind your back, roll your shoulders back. Now going into a deeper awareness of the back body, the universal self, the pool of potential that we have that is just kind of like a reserve that's always there, that we can tap into, to draw upon. Move the inner thighs back into that. Inner thighs back. So you're widening the base of your pelvis, widening the basin, the pelvis, and fold forward over the inside of your right leg. Bend your front knee a little bit more, but keep hugging the right buttock, the right buttock underneath you. Keep your hands on your back or stretch your arms away from your back. Breathe into your back. The thigh bones move into the back of the pelvis. The organs draw into the spine. And the back of the neck, the back of the head soften towards the floor. Reach your arms into the back space, the space that supports you all around you. And even as the body shakes and trembles, see, who are you when you're not shaking? Can you look beyond the shaking? Go deeper into the breath and find a space of surrender somewhere deep inside. Inhale and come up. Squeeze the legs. Turn your feet parallel, hands to hips. And take it to the other side. Left toes turn out. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Exhale, warrior two. Knee over the front of your ankle. So don't pass the toes, but go past the ankle, just the front of the ankle, to engage the muscle of your leg up into your hip. Interlace your fingers. Change the lace of the fingers. Turn your belly towards the left. Inhale, open the chest. And moving the inner thighs into the back space of your body. Exhale, fold forward. Wrap the left sitting bone underneath so that you're creating a stability in the sacrum, in the pelvis, in the legs. Deepen your breath. Keep the feet grounded, especially the back foot, as the inner back thigh lifts towards the back space of your body. One more breath. Inhale and come up. Squeezing the legs. Exhale, turn your feet parallel. Walk your feet towards one another and to the front of your mat. Take your blocks in front, right foot forward, Parsvottanasana, left foot back. Make sure the back heel is touching the floor and your hips parallel to the front edge of your mat. The back heel might lift, and if it lifts, just adjust your foot a little bit more to the outside, but not wider than your hips, so keep them hip distance apart. Inhale and reach your arms up. Reach your arms up, but here, instead of pushing the chest forward, draw the ribs in. Create more fullness in the back of the body. Move the top of your thighs back, inner groins deepen. And as the inner groins deepen, extend your spine forward. Keep your thighs rooting back, right buttock back. And when the floor or the blocks become reachable, bring your hands down. Inhale, squeezing the thighs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, from the sacrum, release the spine down. I'm going to keep the tone of the back of the legs. Feel the vastness behind you. The back of the legs, the back of the body, the back of the neck. Bend your front knee, inhale and step forward. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, rise up. Second side, right foot back. Feet on separate tracks, hip distance apart at maximum. And then if you're going a little bit more balance challenge, bring heel to heel. So that's a little bit more advanced. It requires a little bit more effort from the inner thighs to keep the parallel hips. Tone the muscles of your legs. Press down through your feet, especially the back leg. So as you press down, the energy of the earth, that, again, another aspect of that universal self that supports us, the earth energy, rises up into the legs. Move the inner thighs back to root into your invisible self. And then reach your arms up. Draw the organs into the back of the body, and then as you exhale, extend your spine over the front leg. Keep turning the right inner thigh back, left buttock back. Hands to the blocks or fingers to the floor. Inhale the back of the neck long. Exhale and fold with a deep awareness of the back body. And there's even a kindness as we're approaching the back of the body, as we're stretching it. We're listening deeply. Relax your jaw, relax your face, your eyebrows. A little bend in your front knee. Squeeze the muscles of the back of your legs. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release your arms. Bring your feet together and your right knee in towards your chest. Hold the front of the knee or under the thigh. Inhale, the inner groins deepen. When I move the inner groins deeper, when I move my inner thighs deeper, the thigh bones press into the back body. And when that happens, there's kind of it's like I'm being more gentle with the body. I feel like I'm having more compassion for my body. I'm not pushing it forward so quickly or at all. Inhale here, and then now you can straighten the leg and then bend the knee. Inhale here, exhale and curl in. Draw the organs to the back of the body. Keep your toes lifting. Bring your head towards your knee. More advanced version of this pose is to hold underneath the foot and to straighten your leg. And then release. Bring your left knee in, hold underneath your thigh or the front of your knee. Soften the inner groins back. And straighten your leg. Bend your leg. And then curl in. So again, think back line, thighs move back. And then from the sacrum, curl in, press the abdominals towards the sacrum, forehead to the knee. Stay here or hold on to the sole of your foot. Straighten your leg. Fullness in the back of the body. Feel the pulsation of your breath as you tap into the universal pulsation that supports you. Press out from your pelvis into your feet, and then release. Feet parallel. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway, extending the spine. So if you don't touch the floor easily when you're folding forward, come up a little bit more, bend your knees, stick your butt out. If you touch the floor easily, you can keep your knees bent, you can keep your knees straight, lengthen your spine. Okay. Lengthen the back of the neck. There's a tendency in yoga, when we say inhale, lengthen, and look forward, we tend to block off the neck. So look forward with your eyes, but not so much with your chin. And even when you look forward with your eyes, keep your eyes soft. And then come all the way down, 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 down to sitting. When you're folding forward, when you're in Uttanasana, and if you don't touch the floor easily, take a blanket or two and sit up high on it. Okay. Straighten your legs. So sit on the edge of the blanket. Bend your left knee. So I don't need the blanket today. Bend your left knee and bring the sole of your foot to the inner thigh, or bring the foot to the inner left groin. Widen your seat, inner thighs underneath. Okay. Inhale, lift and lengthen, facing the front leg. Exhale, fold forward. Reach for the foot, the ankle, the leg, or just the floor. Inhale, lift and lengthen. So here we're toning the back of the body. Press your heel down. Engage the back of your leg. Exhale and fold. I'm going to take my right hand onto the floor, and I'll grab the foot with my left hand, or the outside of the leg with my left hand. Inhale, lift the lower belly, and from the back of the body, turn the left side towards the right. Turn the left side of your waist towards the right side of your waist. So you're starting to turn your belly to the right. Inhale and come up. And change side. Janu Shirshasana. Bend your right knee. Place the sole of your foot onto your right thigh. Or, if you're feeling exceptionally open in the hips today, bring your heel to the inner right groin. Widen the inner thighs back and apart, so inner thighs tuck under. Buttocks widen out from underneath you. Again, as a way of moving the energy more into the back body. Inhale, looking forward, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, fold forward, making any adjustments in the pelvis. Reach for the foot or the leg. Inhale, lift your belly. Turn your belly, the right side of your belly, to the left. So it's a bit of a twist and a forward bend. Tone the back of your legs. Press the heel down in the front. Every time you inhale, puff up the back. Every time you exhale, soften the heart forward. So from the universal, inhale into the universal. Exhale, soften the heart forward. So it's from the universal that we become. It's from the ocean that the wave can manifest. If there's no ocean, there's no wave. Inhale, lengthen your spine and come all the way up. Exhale, straighten both legs forward. Inner thighs rolling underneath. Feet hip distance apart. Sit up tall. If you're leaning back, you need more height underneath you. So sit up higher on a block or two, or a couple of cushions. And then inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, lift, 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 not from the chest, lift from the back of the body. Think of your middle back lifting up like a hood lifting up over you, or a wave. Oh, let's do that, like a wave from the ocean. So the ocean kind of lifts up, and exhale, fold forward. Reach for the legs or the feet. Inhale into the back of the body, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale and fold into Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. Tone the back of your legs. Tone the back. Make sure you don't lift your chin too high. Keep the back of the neck open, and then come up. Awesome. So bend your knees, and you're going to grab your blankets. So if you don't have these blankets, the Mexican blankets are awesome because they're just the right amount of density. But if you don't have Mexican blankets, you can use a couple of towels, but old towels are better because they kind of have lost their fluffiness. So we don't want too much fluffiness because fluffiness is not good. We're going to be doing shoulder stand. So we'll take 2 or even 3 blankets. Make sure the edge of the blanket is nice and even. Okay, and I'm going to place these blankets. So the fringe side is in, and that nice folded edge is right on the edge of my mat. And then I'm going to take the other end of my mat, and I'm going to fold it over just halfway. Okay? So as you lie down, so you might want to watch first and then go up into it. So you're going to lie down, but with your head on the floor, so your head can slide. That way it will give some wiggle room to the neck if ever there's any movement in the body. And you're going to inhale, lift your hips, and just make sure that your shoulders stay on the blanket when you're in bridge pose. Then you come down. And then you're going to roll back, catch your hips. Okay? So you catch the hips, you walk your hands down the lower back, and then you lift your legs up. Now you can do this equally on the wall, where you have your feet on the wall, and then you just lift your hips up. Okay? Or on a chair. Lift the hips up, get the shoulders underneath you so that they're really supporting you. The neck is free, but don't try to move your neck. Good, so you can come up into it, and we're going to be doing one leg down, another leg down, and then both legs down. Okay? So come up into the pose. If you're menstruating, this is not a good pose to do. So if you're menstruating, then just keep your hips down and lift your legs up. Once you're up, squeeze the legs together, soften your eyes. Keep your chin moving slightly away from your chest. And then squeeze in, move your inner thighs back. Keep moving your inner thighs back towards the back of the legs as you reach one leg down behind you. Bring it back up. Squeeze in, other leg behind you. Bring it back up. And then both legs, you can go both at the same time or one at a time. Bring them back. If the feet touch the floor, you can interlace your fingers and stretch your arms. If the feet do not touch the floor, then keep the hands to your back, please. Soften your forehead, relax your forehead. Notice how the forehead tends to tense up. Now to come down, you're going to hold the edges of your mat. And you're going to slowly roll one vertebrae at a time. So squeeze your abdominals, relax your jaw, relax your neck, relax your jaw, relax your neck. Come down slowly, 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 slowly. Take a breath once you're down. And then you're going to roll to your side. Gently come up and very, very slowly move the blankets away from you. And lie down. And before we rest in Shavasana, you're going to reach your arms back. And I want you to activate the back body. So you're going to just lift your chin a little bit, press your heels down, and lift the back of your body. Lift the buttocks. Lift the lower back. Reach your tailbone. So it's like an extended bridge pose, like your legs are straight. Yeah. And then come back down. And one more time. Now, if that's too hard, you can bring your elbows to the floor like a bridge pose. But I want legs straight here. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. Breathe towards the floor. Exhale. And keeping your tailbone long towards your heels. Inhale. Press down into your elbows, into your shoulders, into your heels. Engaging the full back line. And then come back down. Good. And then you can just readjust your pelvis. I like tucking the tailbone under so that my back is a bit more flat on the floor. And rest in Shavasana. And let yourself be supported by the earth, by the ground that holds us, but also by the ground of awareness. That backdrop, we just let the organs, let the muscles, the tissues, the bones kind of drop in to the back of the body. Relax your eyes. Relax your jaw. And rest deeply into the vastness, the nothingness of who you are. So there surely is a description of who you are, your personality, your roles, what you do in life, who you are in your everyday life that distinguishes you from everyone else. But there's also another side of us all that we share. Tap into that. Rest in that space, that stillness, that vastness, that potential, the pool of potential that we can all draw from. The pool of consciousness that is who we are and supports who we become. Stay longer in Shavasana, or start to deepen your breath. And when you're ready, roll to your right side. Come up to sitting. Place one hand on the center of your chest and one hand on your lower belly. And feel the pulsation of life moving through you. It is from that vast space that the current of life flows. It is through that space that the current of life flows. Retreat into that space to remember who you are in your fullness, to remember your complete self. And allow your connection to that space to bring you great joy in your own expression of life. Allow your connection to that space, to the vast, unchanging world that unites us all. Allow your connection to that to bring you greater joy in your everyday life when you are playing your roles and enjoying the savors, the tastes of life. Let's close with one sound of Om. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Inhale your breath. Thank you for joining me today. I wish you well. Breathe and be well. Namaste.